Hello, it's P-Mail Bacon here, and I just wanted to make a quick video talking a little bit about the newest, hottest fighting game in the market here, 2XKO. This is, of course, the Riot Tag Fighter that just came out in early access a few weeks ago. There's been a lot of betas and alphas and stuff like that people have participated in. I did play quite a bit of one of the betas or alphas, I can't remember, a while ago, and I have definitely some optimism about the future of this game, and that I definitely want it to do well, but I have a lot of hesitations about it as well. So just thought I would kind of give my perspective here, and I am coming from a place of I am definitely not a hardcore pro player by any means. I am low rank. I hop between multiple different fighting games. I just like playing fighting games. I played a lot over the years, and I kind of just like to have different options in my repertoire of games that I hop into. So that's kind of what I was hoping. I'm also not the biggest fan of tag fighting games. Of course, I love the GOAT, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, things like that. But yeah, this definitely, tag fighters in particular are not my area of expertise. So not really going to focus so much on the actual technical aspects of the game. I kind of want to approach it more from the casual perspective here, because this is a weird game to talk about in a lot of ways, where the skill level required to play at a very high level is actually pretty difficult. Like it's similar up there with other tag fighters that require a high degree of dexterity, game knowledge, being able to produce really insane combos where you got everything memorized, great, extremely strong muscle memory, and be able to pull out 30, 40 hit combos to instant KO or knock out a life bar in one go kind of thing. That stuff is here in this game. But at the same time, this game is free to play. It's a live service model. It is based on the League of Legends franchise, which is very interesting. And it also has the option, this is what makes it really unique, and part of the reason why they call it 2XKO, part of the moniker of it, is that you can play with two players. Well, you kind of assume that a fighting game that allows you to play with two players kind of is targeting a more casual market. So it's this weird combination and place that I think this game is finding itself in, where the big question for me when I really zoom out and look at this from 3,000, 30,000 foot view, there is some big questions here of I'm not entirely sure who this game is supposed to be marketed towards. I think there's a lot of good things about the game. I think the animations look pretty good. They're pretty strong. You can tell there's a ton of work that went into it. There's an interesting combination of all sorts of different fighting games here. You get elements of things like Mortal Kombat, Marvel vs. Capcom, maybe even Injustice, things like that. What was the other one I was just thinking of as well? Killer Instinct. So yeah, with the release of Warwick, for example, that's literally Saberwolf right out of Killer Instinct, for example. So there is this weird mishmash, and certainly a big focus on trying to make this game appeal to people who are fighting game fanatics. But then on the other hand, it's a League of Legends game, so it gets into very interesting territory. So yeah, I think some of the pros that I have about this so far, it just looks good. It generally feels okay. I feel like it's a little bit stiff. One major, I shouldn't even say this is a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not going to say it's a pro or a con, but just something that jumping into it that I was surprised by, kind of took me aback a little bit, especially again coming from, I play mainly things like Street Fighter or Guilty Gear. Those are the kind of games I'm used to playing. There is no motion controls in this game. So, your classic half circle, forward punch or whatever. That stuff doesn't exist here, right? It's literally, to do your combos, it's XXX, YYY, BB kind of thing or whatever, but you're literally just kind of sequentially pressing buttons. And I don't know if I love that as much. There is a flow and a rhythm to fighting games that I appreciate with motion controls that is absent here. But again, if you're trying to cater to a more casual audience, I mean, just having simple button inputs for things like combos or your basic combos. I'm not going to say, like, doing your really advanced stuff. That's always going to be hard at the high levels. If you're like a high level player, no matter what, that's always going to be difficult. I'm talking your basic casual players, the people who are going to be between the average of like silver rank and upwards to, like, I don't know, platinum and a diamond. I don't even know what the highest rank in this game is actually. I think League of Legends has like a weird system like Emerald or something like that, and so whatever it is. But I'm talking about your majority player base that exists between the silver up and upwards to the like platinum diamond rank. That's typically the ranks that you'd kind of think of in other fighting games anyways. And so it definitely just feels different. It has a much different vibe than your typical traditional fighting game because it does lack those motion inputs, which is it is just something that you have to get used to and have to come into, with the right mindset around that. I don't know if I love it myself yet. It's okay. It's fine. So that's part of the challenge, I think, here. And then some other big things that are just, I think, just kind of problematic that I'll just mention here. So you've got your live service model here. The Battle Pass, really, honestly, the Battle Pass is not a bad deal. If we view the Battle Pass, will it actually... Okay, so if we want to upgrade to next tier, so it's $1,000 or so 1,000 KO bucks or whatever you want to say. That's the standard. We've got the deluxe. So you need to have these KO things, right? So let's see here. Enjoy 10 Battle Pass levels. So let's say you just went with a standard because I'm sure that's what most people would agree with. You need 1,000 KO bucks. Well, 1,000 KO bucks is 14, and this is Canadian dollars. So, pretty standard. I wouldn't say that's egregious in any way. It's pretty standard monetization. Pretty much every fighting game or modern fighting game does have some kind of battle pass, and so this isn't particularly the biggest deal in the world. So that's fine. I actually think if you do want to get into this and you want to unlock some skins and do, have something in terms of progression to work towards, I think that your battle pass is kind of like a good option here. And I think it gives you like 6 skins or something like that. It's actually pretty similar to the Overwatch model that way. So here's one, right? So I think so. It goes up to level 75. I don't know. You'll have to go through it. I feel like there was like 6 skins or something like that. Like, it's not that bad of a deal. And some of them are pretty decent, This is okay. You've got this Teemo skin, which is Rift Quest Teemo. That's kind of cute, And I believe, I'm not a League of Legends guy or haven't played League of Legends in many years, but I believe all of these skins are pretty much modeled after things that are in the League of Legends game. So yeah, take a look through here. If you do want to invest some money into this, you want something to work towards, you want your classic Battle Pass experience, I don't actually think this is that big of a deal. This is actually probably one of the positives here. I mean, I shouldn't even say positive, but I know a lot of people hate Battle Passes, but this one is not a bad one. However, I do think, and again, this game, it is in early access, so I'm not going to judge too heavily, but I do think that we are in an ecosystem now with gaming that early access is not viewed the same as it was like even 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. I think early access at one time was like, okay, that's only the handful of individuals who are super invested in this game are going to hop on that train, and they're going to put the time in, and then they're going to message the developers, and they're going to like try to make this the best game that it's ever been, kind of thing. And fighting games, I will say, are still kind of like that. I think that even when a fighting game comes out, just like, day one launch, like, not even early access, but like literally the full release of the game, I think that fighting game players are more forgiving and more flexible. I believe that's how I feel anyways, is that they're more flexible in terms of being open-minded about some of the less than positive aspects of the game. I think that the community often comes together and will try to make things better. So take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, okay? I'm essentially saying this because I think these are things that have to be improved for this game to kind of reach the level that I believe the developers want the game to be at. So the first thing I would just say, like, we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 characters in the game. And if this was, first of all, why 11? That's just kind of an awkward number. I don't know why. Nobody wants 11 characters in the game. But the weirder thing about this is it's a tag fighter. So you're going to always, in this instance, right, it's not your Marvel vs. Capcom style where you got 3 characters to choose from. It is 2 characters. You always are going to be picking 2 different characters that you have to learn. It just seems odd to me that, number one, you'd have 11 characters. So why not an even number at 12? Let's just even this out to 12. But I get it. They're working on the characters. They're trying to make everything like high quality and as good as they can be. But just number one, there's just not enough characters. There's not anywhere near enough characters. And I'm just curious, this game has been, nobody really knows how long this game has been in development for. It could be 5 years, 6 years, 7. I mean, there's estimates as much as 8, 9, 10 years that they've been at least planning the project, let alone actually, spending time developing and everything. It's not like this game has been in development for 2 years or something like that. We've been hearing about this project for a number of years at this point. It just seems odd, and it's definitely one of the biggest community complaints, is that there just isn't that many characters, which is, it's unfortunately, it's a big problem for a tag fighter like this. Now, you give it a few years, then maybe you'll get there with the amount of characters. But the problem is, again, we are in a very different ecosystem with gaming, where I truly believe that fighting games to really hit nowadays, they do have to have that flash in the pan moment when they launch. Now, they can always go downhill too, right? So that's it's even more of a difficult challenge for a fighting game, where once you're years into it, it's that much harder to get people into it because everybody who's playing it is already super good at the game. And so a lot of people don't want to jump into it. It's a lot to learn. There's too many characters, all that stuff like that. So it really does have to capture the zeitgeist of the moment and capitalize on that and bring in as many people on board right from the beginning as it can. Now, it can slowly build up that audience over time. I think Street Fighter 6 has done an exemplary job at this, where it is at, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's around the 5 million sales mark. If you actually look at the player population numbers for that game, it has actually been steadily increasing. And it's really, it's kind of humorous when you look at the community of something like Street Fighter, and there is a complaint among the hardcore players that there isn't enough characters being released at a soon enough interval between each other. And it's true, it does take a long time for a new Street Fighter character to come out. But to be honest with you, I think that's it for the longevity of the game. If you're looking at things in terms of this game is going to last 6, 7, probably realistically more 8 years or something like that, especially if they go in and they do a upgraded version of the game in the future in a few years or whatever. They make a Super Street Fighter 6 or something like that, then you'll have a good robust roster, but it's not going to be something that's going to be so overwhelming for somebody to come into. So there is a fine balance between those two things. But I do think for a tag fighter, it's more challenging because you're always going to be using 2 different characters. You have to learn 2 different characters. And you should be starting off with a relatively robust roster. This roster in an ideal world would probably have more around the 14. I'd say 16. I don't think it needs 16. 16 would be kind of that would be full release kind of, maybe once we hit 1.0, maybe that's what their plan is that this will be a 16 character roster. But having 11 characters, pretty short of the amount of characters you'd want to have for a tag fighter. And the problem with it is it does lead to a stale meta fairly quickly, because you're always people are going to automatically suss out what is your strongest combos, and they're going to focus on that at the highest levels. And people need to be able to like really enjoy watching these games and to get into them. Because again, this is a whole other aspect here that I want to focus on as well, where it kind of goes back to who is this game made for. And I really don't know at this point. Is it made for tag fighters? Is it made for the fighting game community in general? Is it made for people who play League of Legends? Is it made for the general gaming audience? The answer would seemingly be all of the above, but I'm not sure it's really capitalizing in any of those particular areas. There's not a strong roster for a tag fighting. Someone who's playing tag fighting games already, they're probably going to already... I mean, now, to be fair, there hasn't been a lot of tag fighters, so they're probably getting invested in this, but we got Tokon right around the corner. They just announced an update to Dragon Ball FighterZ. Well, that has a very robust roster and arguably a much stronger IP. I actually don't know. We'd have to really break down the numbers. I'm not sure off that. Let me know. What is the stronger IP in terms of identity? I would have to guess that Dragon Ball is a way stronger IP in terms of recognizability and identity than League of Legends. Now, to be fair, I think the League of Legends IP and stuff is very interesting. I was never a League of Legends guy, but I definitely played a lot of Legends of Runeterra. And so I do think the characters, the world, the lore of, I guess, Runeterra or League of Legends, whatever you want to say. I loved Arcane too. I think there's a lot of good things there. And I do think these are good characters. I do like them. Like I say, I think the artwork and the art style and everything is done extremely well. It's still not on the level of like an Arc Systems Works game or anything like that. There's a reason those guys are in a league of their own, but it's still pretty damn high quality. But it gets you into this really weird place where you don't really think about the League of Legends characters as fighting game characters. So there isn't that association there automatically. So I'm just wondering, like, who are they pulling in with this? I mean, seemingly the primary audience would be people who enjoy tag fighters, and maybe the fighting game community as a whole. And I can absolutely see someone like loving this game and really having a good time with it and enjoying themselves. But like overall, there's just not enough meat on the bone there right at this moment. But it is early access. But I do think they need to address the character roster in a big way. And I don't know what characters are going to be coming out next, but they're going to need some big ones and some ones that are going to pull in just a lot of interest and hype for the game. And this game it's going to have to show well, like at tournaments and esports events and stuff like that, I think, to really get a community invested in this. Because at the end of the day, if you really want to commit to a fighting game for more than a few weeks or something like that, that requires you to want to come back time and time and time again and keep exposing yourself to this. And so it has to, number one, have great gameplay, and number two, have great characters that you love. And I don't feel like it's there on either front. That's just my personal opinion. I think the gameplay is decent, but I think once you play it for a little bit, you realize that there is kind of a formula and way that it wants you to play it that is just not as dynamic as with other options that you have. Like, again, I'm comparing it to the big three really at the moment, in terms of, if we're looking at the big three of fighting game, whatever, modern fighting games who are at the top of the ladder right now. We're talking your Street Fighter 6, obviously number one. We're talking your Tekken 8, and we're talking your Guilty Gear Strive. Those are really kind of the three big boys right now, to be honest. And yeah, I know Mortal Kombat, whatever. Nobody's playing Mortal Kombat 1, so we're not talking about that. We're talking about FGC stuff. We're not talking about like sales of fighting games. We're talking about the people that are coming back and engaging with these games consistently, because specifically, this game isn't gonna, I mean, obviously this game is gonna rely on sales to a degree, or monetization, but primarily because it's a free-to-play game, this game lives and dies by its audience in a bigger way than even a Mortal Kombat 1 or something like that thrives on. Okay, number two. That was a lot there. Maybe this is number two. This might be number 3 or 4 or something at this point. The lobby and stuff like that, not very interesting. This is your avatar. This is what it looks like. I put the clown makeup on because I'm not good at this game. I'm pretty bad at it. So I'm wearing the clown makeup. But again, you've got just a buttload of cosmetic items locked behind very expensive tokens. And I don't know. You tell me, hop into the lobby. Tell me you want to spend a lot of time in that lobby. It's not super interesting. I think even, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but when the Street Fighter 6 beta launched, you had full character customization. I know that for sure. You had the battle hub that you could go in to participate in the game there. But if I'm not mistaken, you could also even hop on arcade cabinets at that time and play things like Street Fighter 2 and stuff like that. I don't remember. So there was at least side activities. I'm pretty sure there was. And there's a few more now. You've got like the AI bot. They're always doing like fun competitions and stuff like that. I'm sure that stuff will come. But it's kind of a weird thing here where it's like, okay, so if you throw in some cabinets in the background that you can hop on and play some like retro games or whatever it is, I mean, what's that going to be? League of Legends? Are you going to be able to just play League of Legends in the lobby for 2XKO? Like, are you going to be able to do that? I mean, maybe. Probably not, though. Let's be realistic. That wouldn't really make a heck of a lot of sense. Maybe they'll invent a game or something like that. They'll have a League of Legends pinball game or something. Who knows? But my point is, the lobby in and itself is pretty bare bones. It's you know, I guess you could probably argue it's still better than Guilty Gear Strive's lobby, which is probably like the worst of the worst. But it's not nearly as good as Tekken. Tekken actually probably maybe has like the best or at least most fun-looking and interactive lobby out of a lot of them. And then Street Fighter's lobby is pretty decent as well. So a lot of work to do on the lobby. There's not much to keep you there, and I do have a number of issues with the lobby where, like, the game, the matchmaking so far has been pretty decent, and I haven't had that many connection issues or anything like that. But I have been paired up or put into a very empty lobby on more than one situation, and I've just like haven't been able to find a game for like some reason. I don't know why that happens, but that's happened to me multiple times. So I think the lobby system is pretty lacking. Yeah, they're gonna have to like revamp this whole thing. It's not particularly fun or interesting. Now this is where you get to the really good stuff here, is the store. So this is the monetization. Some people, you know, I think there's an argument here. It's a free to play game. Some people are not going to have an issue with that, and that's totally fine. I'm not even going to say that it's a problem per se, but I think it's an interesting lab experiment here, or a petri dish for the future direction of fighting games as a whole, because I think when you are monetizing a fighting game, a free-to-play fighting game, again, you have to have, if that's like your whole business model and means of financing the project, you have to give people a reason to want to come back into the game, keep playing the game, and spend some money. And where do fighting games usually make a lot of money? What is the number one, like, most purchasable item in a fighting game? It is typically in skins, right? That's what people want to buy. So if we look here, you've got your Arcane League of Legends starter. So you get some, you know, to be fair, they are cool. You have the, and I don't know, I don't remember the V skin, I'll be honest with you. Maybe, is this a skin from Arcane? The black hair V? I honestly don't remember that. I do definitely remember the Jinx skin, and I definitely remember the Echo skin, but I don't remember the V one so much, but whatever. We'll pretend that it's from Arcane. So even for your standard pass here, which if we look at your standard, so it does, okay, so it gives you 4 champion tokens. So you get to unlock 4 characters. That's kind of like, again, not really a good deal because you can just do that for free. I guess like as a starter package if you want it, but like I don't even know why you would purchase 4 champions right off the bat. Like, to be honest with you, I think the champions should be free. I think that's why my complaint here. I actually don't even think, if you're going to do a free-to-play model, tag fighter, getting people coming in, I just wonder in the long run how many champions are going to be like gated off, because if it's anything like League of Legends, the vast majority of the champs or whatever are gated off through microtransactions or through building credits through gameplay. So I don't know. I think either A, you need like half the roster to be free, which it isn't, or you need the full roster. I would actually just say, just have the full roster be free. Just give people a reason to jump in and play their favorite character in a fighting game. This isn't League of Legends where there's like 100 whatever different characters. This at most is like by the time this game is like done, let's say, and however long that's going to be, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, who knows? How many heroes is this game actually going to have? Like maybe 24, like 30 even sounds like too many. So I don't know. You get your 2,000 KO points, which we know is like enough to buy the battle pass. Okay, so the battle pass is $13 of this. Champion tokens, I don't know how much it costs to buy a champion token. And then you get your 3 skins, I guess. So, it's okay. It seems expensive to me. That seems a little bit expensive, especially when but again, free to play, $41. You get 3 skins with this. You get 4 champs, 2,000. So this is probably not the worst deal. But then it kind of this is where it gets really messed up here, though. We go up to the deluxe version, which is, to be honest, this is what people want. Actually, this isn't even the good one. Okay, so with this one, you get a bunch of cosmetics for your avatar. You get the arcane skins. You get 8 champion tokens. So you can basically get the full roster in beta. And you get 3,000, so you get a battle pass again. Does not seem worth it. So you have this basically double the price. I guess the big thing here again is you get 8 champion tokens, but like it doesn't even take that long to unlock the champs if you just play the game. So I don't think that's a super great deal. And then this is the one that blows my mind here. So this is 140. This is the ultra package, and you've got your 3 skins, and admittedly they look good. You know, I love this Jinx skin. That one's, I loved this in the show, and this hood and everything she has. And this one is really good too. And then you get your colors. So if we look here, so the other funny thing, you get 5 colors. They're fine, you know, whatever, nothing groundbreaking. Here's our Jinx. And yeah, again, I'm not going to say these look bad. They don't look bad. They look good. I think they look decent. A lot of other skin packages you get with other games, you buy the skin for, I don't know, $9 or something, $10. You usually get the full color roster with that. And I'm only comparing this again to, like, you know, Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, the games that are popular right now. You get like, you know, 9 different colors or whatever with that, right? Like, I get it depends which game you're talking about. There's nuances here or whatever to be had. But my point is, it's not usually that expensive for a color package or a skin package or something like that. It's usually around like the $9 to $12 mark. Okay. And then again, you get the same avatar. I really personally don't care about avatar items. I don't even, again, maybe some of these should be purchasable, but like just make some of this also like unlockable just through playing the game. And I don't believe much or any of it is. A lot of it's just gated behind microtransactions again. You get a couple stickers, and you get your, okay, well, we know that. We already get a, okay, this isn't even the skin, actually. This is a banner. So wait, okay, so sorry, excuse me. That actually just realized that. So that's the banner. So do you not get the skins with this one? You must, right? Wait, I'm kind of confused now. So that says best value. Arcane. I'm pretty sure this is just a banner. Kickstart your game with 4 champion tokens. Unlock any champion of your choice. 2,000 KO and an exclusive. Oh no, sorry. So you know what? This is actually a way worse value. Because I was thinking you get actually. I was thinking when I saw this, I'm like, okay, so you get the arcane skins. No, you don't. You get a fucking banner. You get a banner. So celebrate victory in style with an exclusive arcane finisher. Champion. Yeah, okay. So here it is here. So you actually, so sorry, let me take that back. It's even worse than I thought. Immerse yourself in the arcane with 3 exclusive arcane skins and more, in addition to everything in the deluxe and standard bundles. So you actually have to purchase, well, unless you want to buy them individually, which, let's see here. Okay, here's your battle pass. How do you actually, can you buy these individually? You must be able to, right? Like if I go to Jinx, let's see here. So if I want this one, available for unlock in the store. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've not really delved into this. I saw the price tag and I was like, not even remotely interested. I just briefly looked at this. This is like the first time really deep diving into this here. But okay, wow. So if you want, okay, so you can get the Darius skin set, but this is not the Arcane one. 2,000. So we know that's about 13 Canadian doll hairs right there. Which, you know, it's a little bit more expensive than I think than the regular. But you only get one color option with it, which is not cool. And you get one avatar item, and you get a band. Like, I don't care about that. I don't think most people care about this, right? Am I wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong. The avatar item's okay. Nobody cares about this, and nobody cares about this. Let's be honest. Nobody ever wants this stuff in a free-to-play game. So these are all 2,000 credit skins. As far as I can tell, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the only spot where you can actually unlock the Arcane skins. That's the only spot I see. Am I incorrect in this? This is the only place I can see it. So you got to spend $140 to basically unlock 3 skins for 3 characters that you may not use all 3 characters. Like this is whaling to the max here. Like, that's almost as bad as, like, Diablo Immortal stuff, right? So, beyond that, what else did I want to talk about here? I mean, that was generally it. I think, you know, for me, personally speaking, I'm just not sure how much legs this game has. I'm going to continue to kind of dabble with it and stuff, but usually I know within the first handful of sessions of playing it whether I want to like commit to it or not. It's usually like pretty apparent early on, I would say, but I'm not sure I'm there with this one where I'm like, I really have to believe that this is going to be an ongoing game for a good little while. It's not going to just die out in like the first like 6 months of it coming out for me to be like super invested in it. And that's fine if you love it and you're really into it and you want to just, you know, see where things take you and try to climb the ladder and play ranked and stuff like that. I got nothing but respect for you for doing that, but I do have a number of concerns about the game that way. And yeah, again, just, you know, I like League of Legends. I think it's an interesting intellectual property. I would like to see it have a good fighting game, but I don't know who the game is for or the community that this is targeting exactly 100%. Based on how much the skins cost, I'm going to assume it's like people with like a good amount of money. That's who I think the game is ultimately for. But anyways, that's my thoughts on it. That's been my experience with it. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you on the next one.